Welcome back to DIY My Way. You may recall that last year I started building a new pool house for the pool. And I worked on it from the spring through the summer and into the fall until the rain and the cold brought a halt to it until this spring. And I started working on it again. So I wanted to bring you up to date on where I am with the pool house project.
This project began with moving the old pool house around to the other side of the pool near the garden to become a tool shed. Moving a 2,500-pound 8 by 12-foot building was a real challenge, but I got it done. Next, I had to relocate the pool pump and filters back about 10 feet so that they would sit next to the pool house. I also had to build a temporary enclosure for the breaker box, pump controls, and salt generator. Then I ran a new water line to the pool house, which also branches off to provide water to my shop building. Next came slab form prep, plumbing, and electrical stub-ups. Then Bob, who built my shop, poured the concrete for the pool house as well. Then I installed the valve box, which includes a valve for the pool house, a spare valve, and a valve feeding the shop. The new pool house will look something like this. The software rendering is crude, but it shows the general layout, but not the color or styling. Here's a look at the floor plan. The building is 8 feet deep by 14 feet wide, with a 10 by 14 porch, and will have a bathroom and storage room. So after the concrete and valve box, it was time to start framing up the pool house. I unloaded the first round of lumber onto a makeshift platform to keep it off the ground. I've got my lumber staged, ready to go, and I have my carry-all loaded out with all the tools that I'll need except for the ones that I've forgotten, which I'll go back and get as I figure them out. I start with a piece of pressure-treated lumber for the sill plate. My carry-all makes a pretty good sawhorse. I'm going to start with this end wall here first because it's going to be the hard one. I've got to drill all these holes and get it seated, so I'll erect this wall first and then do the other wall segments after that. But first, I've got to get the holes marked on here for these pipes. Before I drill the holes, I snap some chalk lines 3.5 inches from the edge as guides and check for square. That's awesome. You're dead on. So I feel good about that. Now for the holes. I measure along the length and use my speed square to mark the sill plate. Then measure from the chalk line to the center of the pipes to find the right distance from the inside edge of the sill plate. We interrupt this program to bring you this special subliminal message. We now return you to your regularly scheduled program. I drill the holes, then check the fit.
that will do nicely. Next thing I need to do is put the sill seal foam underneath here, so I'm going to lay it out across there and cut out the same holes. Then I'll mark for the studs. And then we'll build a wall.
After cutting the seal foam, I marked the sill plate with the positions of the studs. Then I transfer all the markings for the studs and the pipes to what will be the top plate for the wall. Time to assemble the wall. Notice I've drilled the same holes on the top plate for the vent stack and the electrical conduits. With the help of Big Orange, I set the wall in place. I attach a temporary diagonal board to hold the wall square. Also, I realized it was easier to staple the sill plate seal foam to the bottom of the sill plate before setting the wall upright. A temporary prop stick will hold it up for now. I installed a couple of concrete anchor bolts through the sill plate. I'll install the rest later. Next, the first section of back wall goes up. Notice I've already stapled the sill plate seal foam to the bottom of the sill plate, and I have the upper plate on this wall positioned to overlap the first wall at the corner. Also, I've braced the first wall to be plumb. I use clamps to hold the corners together for now.
One thing I didn't notice that I wish I'd noticed is the electrical pipe had gotten pushed away from the edge of the form, so it's outside of the wall. That's not going to be that big of a deal for one thing, because I can cut that conduit off close to the bottom and then kind of route it in, but this is going to basically be a storage closet area. But I wish I had noticed that. All the other stub ups are fine, at least within the space, even if they got a little bit crooked. Just this one's going to be a bit of a problem, so I'm going to have to notch the inside edge of this sill plate here. Now that's what I'm talking about. It's a custom tailor fit.
I transfer the stud marks from the sill plate to the top plate. Then lay out and assemble the wall section. And raise it up. The upper plate overlaps the previous wall section and has a spot for the end wall upper plate to land. anchor the wall to the slab. After building the other end wall, I built the first section of the front wall, minus the header over the doorway because I didn't have any 2x10s to make it with. Finally, for that day, the interior wall, which for some reason I don't have any video of building it. The next day I built the header for the first doorway. Before installing the header, I clamp on stop blocks to help line it up flush and keep it from falling out the other side until I nail it in. The other front wall section is next. As I have with all the walls, I stapled the seal foam to the seal plate except where the door will be, since I'll cut that section out later. I set the wall in place and clamp it in. Then nail it in. Finally, I put on the last piece of the upper plate. Stay tuned for coming chapters in the saga as I make progress on the many milestones toward completing the pool house. If you enjoy these videos, please help me keep them coming by clicking the like button, commenting below, and subscribing. Thanks for watching.